All right, look, another definition. Well, I guess not a definition, because we already defined central angle. But here's what you need to know. Hit the pen. All right. Central angle has same measure as its intercepted arc. So let's say the measure of angle ABC is going to equal the measure of arc AC. So this arc would also be 105 degrees. And I'm going to scroll past this part because we also already defined major arc, minor arc, but if you would like another example of that, there you go. Okay, so first part A, 112 degrees. Well, the arc, it's the central angle, so that's going to be 112. Measure of angle VWU. Ooh, looks like I get to do a little problem solving. Well, here I have a half circle. Keep in mind that a half circle is 180 degrees, and a full circle is 360 degrees. And so knowing that I have 180, let's subtract 61, and I get 119 degrees. Measure of arc FDE. So that's what I'm looking for. Well, once again, I know that I have 180. I'll do that in a different color. That's 180 degrees, and that's 95, which means I can just add those together. And I get 275 degrees. Or one more example, angle TRV. It's like I can just add those together, but I also need to know what TRU equals. So I can add 65 plus 135 plus 120. I get 320. So this gives me 40 degrees. So now 40 plus 120 is 160 degrees. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more problems with this. My helpful tips for you. We highlight the diameters like we did in examples B and C. And then also remember, if you have two diameters, those create vertical angles. So here, I have some vertical angles. So if I'm looking for HK, so this is what I'm looking for. Well, 55, I can just do 180 minus 55, because here is a diameter. So 180 minus 55, I get 125 degrees. Ooh, look at me throwing some algebra at you. All right, here's what I know. This is what I'm looking for. But this arc has been created by two diameters, which means those are congruent. So it means I can set up an equation to say that 3 plus 11x equals negative 4 plus 12x. And now I just get x by itself. Woohoo! X equals 7. Now I can plug that in. Look at us, we are so good at math. Let's see, what other example do we want to do? All right. Let's see, part G, from solving for x. I see I have a diameter, which tells me that if I add those together, I get 180 degrees. So 626x minus 2 equals 180. 26x equals 182. I divide by 26 and I get 7. All right, if I'm looking at xt over here, say I have some diameters, oh, then I can see that those are equal, and so I can set up and solve from there. All right, I'm confident in your abilities to solve from there further. Let's see what else we got. Also, I recognize that you don't have these printed, so I hope you're pausing when you need to so you can draw the circle. Let's see, what other example do I want to do? Let's just do example L. I'm looking for arc IH. Well, I know I have 3 pieces of the circle to give me the full circle. Full circle is 360. And then you can finish solving from there. Let's call that good. And now let's get to an inscribed angle. All right, here's a definition for you. An angle that is formed by 2 chords that share a common endpoint. It's actually just chords that have a vertex on the circle. So it looks something like either of these. The second one, they've just slapped a diameter on there as well. Here's what you need to know. The measure of an inscribed angle is half the measure of its intercepted arc. Another way we could rewrite that is the intercepted arc is twice the measure of the inscribed angle. So let's say this angle in here, angle ABC is 40. That means the measure of this arc, of arc AC, is 80 degrees. Or, coming down to my next example, I see I have a diameter, which tells me that this full arc is 180 degrees, which then means that this the inscribed angle is going to be 90 degrees. My biggest tip that I have for you on this is, let's take a look, because we're about to get into some doozies down here. My tip is to just highlight or color in what chords are going with which arcs. So we'll get to an example of that in a second. Find the measure of the missing arc or angle. Well, I can just take 174 divided by 2. Here are the chords that lead to this arc. So those go together. So 174 divided by 2 is 87 degrees. With this one, looks like we got to do a little problem solving. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to start the angle that I've been given and go from there. So here's my 50 degrees. So I can times that by 2 to get 100 degrees. Oh, and now I have the 180. Which means that my question mark arc is 80 degrees. Part C, once again, I'm going to start at the angle that I've been given, and I just like to highlight the chords that create that angle because now it gives me a clear picture of the intercepted arc. I'm going to times 39 by 2, and I'm going to get 78. And I have a diameter, which means I can do 180 minus 78 to get 102 degrees. Part D, this time I'm going to start at the arc that I've been given, so I like to highlight it, and then I like to go backwards to just find out what angle it created. Or another way I could do this, I'd rather do this a different way actually. Because here's what I notice. I notice that I have a diameter. And I notice the question mark, the angle I'm trying to find, is right here. So I can use the diameter to do 180 minus 96, get 84. And now I can do 84 divided by 2 to get 42 degrees. Right, so that was just numerical child's play. Let's get to the good stuff. That's going to help you pausing to draw these in your notes. Have fun with that. All right. Find the measure of arc LM. Mercy. Okay. LM is what I'm looking for. Here are the chords that create that arc. And I know that I got to multiply by 2 to get to the measure of my arc. So I'm just going to do 2 times 39x plus 2 equals 81x minus 2. Solve from here. 78x plus 4 is 81x minus 2. Let's see. 3x. There's my value of x, so now I can plug it in. 81 times 2 minus 2 equals 160 degrees. Okay, part F. I mean, I can just start looking at things. My eye is drawn towards the angle in here. So now I got times that by 2, and then I have every other piece of the circle. So I can say 2 times 5x plus 13 plus 9x minus 3 plus 6x plus 12 equals 360. I'm going to combine like terms while I'm here. 9x plus 6 is 15x. Negative 3 plus 12 is 9. And now that's 25x plus 22. Oh, I made a mistake. 2 times 13 is 26. 26 plus 9 is 35. Which means x equals 13. And now I can plug into this little arc right here. 6 times 13 plus 12 is 90 degrees. Okay, let's just finish on example H. This one's super fun. Here's what you need to know. There's one. Here's the other. Notice those angles correspond to the same arc, which tells me that they have to be equal. So that means that 5x minus 13, I mean my color coding, you know me, equals 4x plus 1. Do-do-do-do-do. Linear equations all day, every day. All right, and we need to find the measure of that arc, so just pick whichever one you want to plug it into. Four times 14 plus 1. Let's see, 4 times 14 is 56. That's 57. So 57 gives me this angle. But remember, we got to times it by 2 to get there. So 57 times 2, 57 times 2 is 114 degrees. And that's it, friends.